Okay, again, it asks some code actually. Here, once we are logging the verification code, then this 1711399. 171,399. Okay, now I can able to log into the our just can able to create your own GitHub repository with free of cost. There is no problem. Just you should have all. I think so. Most of the people they have a GitHub account. Otherwise, if you don't have a GitHub account, you have to create. So if you get like this, the GitHub account, like github.com/your username, Hanmantrao19 like that. My username is Hanmantrao19. Then I had a Neil 51 repositories. So now I need to create a new repositories. Here the new repository. Then I will like Devops GCP batch 2 repo. So then it will ask again, description is our wish. I have created one a repository. Then I will call it like public or private. The public means the all can, who is generally the GitHub is a public. There's those who are in the net, just if you type that Hanmantrao19, they can able to easily get this repository easily if it is a public. Private means the only myself I can able to see the private repository. So now this is the public repository. Then just add me readme file. Then just why this readme file is generally when the project, whenever in real time, if anyone they can create a project, the project, why that project, what is the purpose of that project, everything, and what is the main soul of that repository. This is the repository we are call it as. What is the main purpose of that repository? Everything they can mention in the readme file. That is the main purpose of the readme file. Here I will get my repository Devops GCP batch 2. If I not mention anything in the README file, then automatically it will take the whatever the repository name that will take in the README file. If we add something in the README file, that's good. Okay. Then here previously we had a here master. Now the newly GitHub from last, I think so last 1 or 2 months, or I think so 6 months. From 6 months onwards, we'll get the like here the main. Previously we had a like master. Now we'll get the main. We have only one branch, default branch, that is called the main. Here the branches. So here one branch is there. This is the main. Okay, we'll get like this. So if you click on here again, it will go the all repositories. Again, if you go to the repositories, then you can search your repository like this. Here is this is our repository. So Devops GCP batch 2. This is our repository. Then first I need to create a one file. You can able to create the files in the UI itself, or in Git client you can able to also create the files in our local also. So now timing, just I have added a one file here. Here add file, then create a new file. Like I will create a test.txt file. This is the test file. GCP batch 2. Then here it asks the commit again. Here it will clearly commit directly to the main branch. Usually we are not directly committed to the main branch, but now actually going forward, this how the process is in real time, just I will tell you. Then most of the people known process only following the in real time also, but most of the people, they thought that just something else in the real time, but it's not like that. Generally, whatever I am telling, that we are following in a real time. Okay. Here we have to give a, if anything is then like in a commit message, then it's not required, it will take automatically some file, then no need to give any commit message here. Commit a new file. If you're not giving any commit message, it will take automatically create test.txt file commit message. But initially you should give a at the any time, just if you give any commit, then you have to give the commit message. What is the commit message? You are call it as this message is a commit message. What is the commit message is? It will shows the what is the purpose of that commit, why you are adding that files, why you are adding the content, what is the main purpose of that commit, that can mention here in commit message. So if you click on here test.txt, then we will get the only this test file from GCP, this file only. So for example, if you want to edit this one, simply here edit button is there, edit, then you can add one more line. This is other test line. Come here. Here you can get the automatic message, update test.txt. You can give your own message. If you are not giving your own message, it will take a default message like a update test.txt. Here where you are directly committed in the same branch, main branch only. Okay. So commit. Then here we will get the one more line. So finally, this is the repository. In this repository, we had two files. One is the readme.md, another one is the test.txt. Okay, these all those things now we can able to do directly in a repository where the central repository. This you are call it as a central repository. Indirectly, you are doing these things in the central repository. But in real time, we don't touch the master branch or main branch in projects. We won't commit anything directly. We won't edit anything directly in the main branch or master branch. Why? Because we should track everything. Here also it will track, but we should track based on the tickets and all those things, who can commit all those. But some people may be a high release manager and manager, they can able to change directly, but that is also not a good practice. Just most of the people, just they can do the another way, just they won't change anything in the main or the master branch. Okay, this is the generally the what is the repository, central repository. For example, if you want to create the one more branch, okay, one more branch, why you are go with the branch means, for example, if we don't want to touch this main branch, this as it is, we have for the testing branch, this total code should be there into the other branch. I need to test in that one without disturbing this branch. Okay, so simply here in this down arrow, you can click like this. Here it asks the what is the branch you want to create from the main. Okay, simply here you can create a like dev branch. Okay, here the dev branch, create branch, dev branch from where? The main. Dev branch from main. Create a branch. Which branch? Dev branch. Dev branch from which branch? Main branch. We will create the dev branch from the main branch. So simply the create, click on here, the create branch, click on the create branch. Now, if you observe here, the previously we had here only two branches. Sorry, one branch. Previously we had here only one branch, that is called the main branch. Main branch only we had. But now we had another branch, that is the dev branch. So totally in this repository, how many branches are there? The two branches are there. One is the main branch, another one is the dev branch. Okay, but generally the default branch should be the main. Then whatever the remaining branch, this is the dev branch. Like that, the dev branch, QA branch, like that they can queue. Okay, they can create the based on the requirements. Okay, like that you can able to create the branch here. For example, if you want to create, you can able to create the QA branch like that. So this way you can directly change the add the files. Okay, now I want to add one more file. Create a new file. Here, in which branch we are adding? In main branch only we are adding. So we are adding test2.txt. This is text2.txt file from GCP batch 2. Okay, this is the content here. Same way, commit means it will take the automatically commit message. So what is the message? You can able to give your own message. So like this is the test2 file. You can able to give here also. This is test2 file. Okay, then commit new file. Just you can commit this file. Here, if you observe, in main branch, previously you had only the readme.md and test.txt file. These two files only there in the previous. But now we added one more file that is called the test2.txt. Okay. But if you observe, this test2.txt is not available in other branch. Why? Because this test2.txt where we have created, this we have created in a main branch only. In main branch you have created. So if you shift to the dev branch, in dev branch there is a no test2.txt. So like this you can add the files and delete the files like that. Okay, for example, in dev branch, the another branch I have, in another branch I try to create the one more file. This time I will create the test3.txt. I'll leave it as it is the commit message. I won't change anything. You can able to give here the commit new file. Here, if you observe in dev branch, we had a test.txt and test3.txt. Two files are there. But if you go to main branch, in main branch, we had only test.txt and test2.txt. So test3.txt is not available in main branch. Why? Because we have created test3.txt in a dev branch. This is the dev branch. In dev branch, we have created the test3.txt. You are not created in the main branch. If you observe the main branch, we had only test.txt and test2.txt. If you observe here, the dev branch had a recent pushes 1 minute. That means what? Actually, recently 1 minute ago, the dev branch had a one change that they can tell. Okay, here recently we added a one file in the dev branch that is called as a test.txt. 1 minute. Okay, if you click on here, the compare pull request. Here, simply task, you can able to merge this dev branch to this main branch. Okay. Here, if you want to create or if you want to add any branch, means any branch to this branch, means you can merge the any dev branch to this branch, you have to create. I will explain this one clearly. Here, if you observe in main branch, we had only 3 files. That is the readme dot and test.txt and test3.txt. This is the okay. But for testing purpose, I have created one more branch. That is the dev branch. But in this dev branch, I had only 2 files, test.txt and test3.txt. Now I want to merge this branch to this branch. Just for that purpose, we should create a pull request. So first we can create a pull request. Here it will ask it what I want here. Actually, this dev branch should be merged into this master branch, like in a main branch. Then for that, create a pull request. Okay. If you go to here, we had a one pull request. One pull request. What is that pull request? I want to raise a request to merge this dev branch to main branch. So now I will go to the pull request. This is the open request. So click on the open. On issue, will get it. Okay, here merge pull request. For that, we require one commit. This is the dev QA branch. Dev branch. Merge to main. Merge pull request. Merge pull request. Confirm merge. Here previously have create message, some message. What is this more commit by the dev branch? Here we have created some message where we had the dev branch merge to the main. So confirm merge. If you go to here, if you observe here, test.txt, test2.txt, test3.txt. So here previously we had dev branch. In this dev branch, we had only test.txt and test3.txt. What can we do here actually? This test.3st will add it into the main branch. This test.3st is added into the main branch. Now we can get the test.txt, test2.txt, and test3.txt. Okay. Do you have any questions in this?
Other text.txt is also there in dev branch also after merging, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously it is there. This branch, this branch is there. Obviously, in this branch, this content, whatever the content is in this branch, this will be changed. What is the your main motto is whatever there in this dev branch
has been
that
shifted
is overridden in this master main branch. For example, same test.txt if you added in some file, then you can merge into this one. Then you can able to get the changes. Means extra changes. It will be there is a no changes into the main branch. Whatever the new changes are there in the other branch, that will add it into this one.
Okay.
That is the main. Okay.
So
but
developers push the code into dev branch only, right? Usually in real time.
it's not like that actually. Some people, they can maintain only one master branch as a general DevOps kind of branching strategy is a different, but general code branch strategy is a different. The DevOps branch strategies, they are not maintain much branches. Simply they have maintained one master branch, then future branch. Means whenever if you want to add anything into the master, just they have created one new branch, then they can add it something into that new branch. That new branch will merge into the master. That kind of thing is happened in DevOps role. But in dev kind of thing, they have generally maintained the one dev branch, like one release branch, other release or QA branch, then master branch. So master branch, they won't touch the master branch until unless you can feel that is going to be a prod. That way they can able to, most of the people they can do like this. So here, if you feel that that code is okay, then only you can merge into the master, then they can release to the production. For generally development code is there in the development, everything is fine in the development, that development branch is merged into the QA branch. So QA branch, everything is perfect, you can feel QA or release branch, everything that we feel, then they can merge into the master. Okay, that is the way just happen. Generally all people, they can raise the one future branch from the main branch, like in a master branch they can changes, then they can raise the pull request. Then I will explain the how actually most of the people, the small applications kind of stuff, how they can maintain the branching strategy. The simple branching strategy only, the like master and future branch kind of thing only they can follow.
Okay.
In these things, where here everything you can do with help of the graphical in the UI. But as a developer, as a DevOps engineer, most of the people, they won't do operations through UI here. They can, most of the people, they can do within a command line only. Okay, until unless if you have a good only to merge the pull request, to raise the pull request, for that purpose only we are using the GitHub. The remaining code changes and everything they won't change here. In UI,
GitHub is like a repository, right? Just will store the this, right?
yeah, it is used to store the code, whatever the code, like an application code or DevOps files or Terraform code and all stuff. You can able to store the files also, documents also, just whatever the content, every content you can able to store, not only the general code. Most of the people, for the normal data also, they can simply create one repository, they can store. Even non-IT guy also, they can able to maintain their code into the GitHub. But usually the code will be why? Because everything is tracked. Those who can change the file and everything is tracked. That is the very important in like the DevOps. As a DevOps engineer, you should have a knowledge in the GitHub or Bitbucket or any one thing. It's a Bitbucket or GitHub or GitLab. But in Git client is the tool to work in our local Git client or Visual Code also, Visual Studio also. We need to Visual Code editor is there. That is helpful to edit the files and stuff. Okay. Here, this is the now up to now what you have is you can able to create files here itself. Then you can able to create the branches here itself. Then you can able to merge the one branch to the other branch. So these all those things we can able to see here itself only. For example, simply in this test.txt, the recently what happened, update that. If you click on here, then it will show what is there. Previously, this line is there, this test file from the last commit, what will be there? Last commit plus this file is added. This is other test file. This file, this line will be added extra. Okay. This is the actually how it will happen. Then we will come to this part. Actually, this should be a basic understand should be there. Then only we should This diagram is clear. This is the remote repository. Still now we are working on the remote repository. Directly we can changes our things. We can modify the anything directly in the remote repository. But usually that is not a good practice. So we should do everything into the local, then raise the pull request, then only you can able to this review by the manager, then we can match that whatever the branch into the main branch or master branch, but that is done by the manager or the team lead, that kind of stuff. So finally what I conclude here, just we won't do any changes in the remote repository directly. That is the main concern. So then, so where we can change, obviously we should use the Git client. So that Git client, our Git client or Visual Studio, through Visual Studio, like Visual Studio Code, like that you can able to do. So for that, we should have main, what is the this strategy, how you can follow this car terminology. I think so most of the people they have aware, then how these all those things done. But even though just it's a recollecting, here working directory, this working directory is nothing but where we are working, means maybe your laptop or in your server, wherever we have, just here this is the working directory. We should have our Git client, the Git software should have, if you want to work on Git, we should have a Git software. So here this is a working directory. Then whatever the changes, if you add any files or anything, then after that we should add that thing into the staging area. The second one is the, this is the working directory, this is here the staging area. Okay, here second one is a working directory, the staging area. The staging area means wherever you have a files, that whatever the changes in your workspace, that you are call it as work directory, workspace or something like that. So in workspace, whatever you have added some files or to modify some files, that should be first to add it into the staging area. You are called it as a staging area, or indexing, you are called as indexing or staging, like that. How you can do in a command line with help of the git add command. First you have to add with help of the git add command. First we have to add into the staging area. Then after that we should commit this files into the local repository. First you have to commit into the your local repository with help of the git commit. So in git commit here, actually in previously we are using the git commit in UI. So commit is nothing but just you can changes push into the local repository. So we are commit into the local repo. So here we are come across working directory, staging area, and local repo. So here whenever you are added files, that should be into staging area. After that you should be commit into the local repository. That's done. Okay, once the whatever the changes that comes into the local repository, then obviously we should push into the remote repository. Okay, that's way we can able to actually this flow should be, you should know this flow, git add, git commit, and git push. Then whatever the changes are there in the remote repository, something once we push into the git repository, so someone will change something in the directly into the some changes happen into the remote repo. Then again, if you want to get that things, again we should require the git pull command. So this is the git pull. So in git checkout, git match, I will tell later. Actually, this should be require what is the git checkout and git match. This is the basically git add, git commit, and git push. So first we can go to the Git client. We should have a Git client software in our once we Git client software is there in your local machine, then you can search in your search bar like in a Git, then you will get like a Git bash, Git UI, Git CMD. Usually most of the people but generally you can use the Git bash. So you will click on the Git bash. Now I am in this. Here, this Git bash is everything similar like a Linux server. Everything Linux commands only work here. Most of the Linux commands will work here in Git client. It's not like a CMD in Windows. It's not CMD in Windows. It's a similar like a Linux environment. We can call it as here PWT, where I am in the users Hanu Medikonda. This is then where I am. Now I will ls, it will list the whatever the directories are there. Now I will create a one directory mkdir git underscore GCP batch 2. Okay, I have created a one directory. For identification purpose, you have to create a one folder. Then I have created a one folder. Okay, in this folder, nothing else. Where I am present, I am in users in my directory in Hanu Medikonda. In this, I have created a one empty directory. In this directory, nothing is there. Nothing is there. Just now I have created a git underscore GCP batch. Okay. Once if I have done everything like in a GCP created, then I have to clone the remote repository. First, go to the remote repository. Here, simply here code, you can copy here. Three things are there: HTTPS, SSH, and GitHub CLI. But you can ignore this GitHub CLI. Just you can use the HTTPS and SSH. Okay. For example, if I clone this one, copy. Git clone. Paste. This is our repository. Just now we have created our repository. So what is the purpose of the Git clone? Git clone means whatever content is there in this repository. Just now we have created in this repository. All those things will simply cloned into your local repository. Here it is in a local repository. So Git clone can download it. So means you can just clone it. So Git clone, it will directly cloning, but how it will happen without password? It doesn't ask any password and username. Then how directly it will happen? So previously I have already authenticated to my local desktop. I have already authenticated this central repository, nothing but the remote repository, to my local desktop. How I can authenticate previously? So with the help of the SSH keys, with the help of the what? SSH keys, I can able to authenticate this is my local desktop to here. How I authenticate? If you go to here, settings, SSH keys. If you observe here, my keys are there already here. So many keys are there. So many keys means I have some person is this same repository is I have used in other keys, different keys. So already I have authenticated these things with my local. Okay, that's why just I can able to download this one. Now I will do one thing. I will go to uses my home directory cd tilt. We'll go to my home directory pwd. So I am in users Hanu Medikonda. So now here I will type ls-lart. What is the ls-lart? It will give the dot also dot ssh something. Means hidden files. ls hyphen just lrt. First, if I will show you with lrt. ls-lrt. It doesn't shows with dot files. Dot ssh is not representing here. It doesn't shows dot ssh. But I want to get dot ssh file. How I can get ls hyphen la. A means the hidden files here, the lart. So it will shows the dot ssh. Previously it doesn't. Why? Just simply I have entered the ls, my ls hyphen lrt. The ls hyphen lrt doesn't give the dot files. Only ls hyphen lart will give the dot files. So now I am in the dot ssh. Okay, I want dot ssh. Why? My ssh keys will be stored default into the dot ssh. My ssh keys. Once you generate your ssh keys, that will be stored into dot ssh. I will enter into the dot ssh. Here ls-lrt. Here observe if your two files are there, id underscore rsa, id underscore rsa dot pub. What are these two? These two are nothing but whenever you are created a keys, one public key, one private key, one public key and one private key. What is that one public key? In Havala, they can like a two slips are there. One slip is in other person, one slip is in other person. Just those two are matching, then only the deal will done. Here also, whenever you are creating a SSH keys, you will get the two keys. This RSA is a private key. This RSA dot pub is the public key. So this public key, where we can keep this public key, just I will cat this one. Something like WFPU. So I will go to here where we had a WPU, something like so we are not able to see this one edit option. We're not able to edit, I think so. Something VI where we had started with the AAA. Started with AAA, no. Ended with something else. Here WFPU something is there actually. So maybe anyway, just that public key should be keep here itself. That public key should be keep here itself. You have to this public key. So now I will remove these two keys. ID RSA.pub. I will remove these two keys. This rm-rf command won't use in a real time until unless you should have a good command on it. Why you are using these all those things? So the rm-rf command is very dangerous. That means simply if your rm-rf star, if you mention by mistakenly, whatever the present working directory, all files will gone. So don't use the rm-rf command in real time until unless you have a full clarity. Okay. So then I will remove these two files. Now I go to home directory. Then I will go to Git GCP. Then I try to clone one more repository. Now I will try to clone one repository. For example, Packer. Copy. Git Clone. What happened? Actually, previously, whenever you have downloaded any SSH related, means SSH, here if you observe SSH, this repository, you can easily download it. Just now we have downloaded, but now we are not able to download it. Why? Just I will remove that repository also for your sake. I will remove this repository also. This is empty. Now I will try to download that repository. Each repository. This one. This one I try to download this one. Copy. Git clone. The paste. Again, previously you can easily download this one. Now we are not able to download this one. Why? If you want to download through SSH, we should have a key in your.
We have to.
So we have to generate the SSH keys. Then we have to copy that key into the public key, not private key. Public key you should keep into our repo. So now I will try to generate the SSH keys. SSH hyphen keygen. Actually, SSH hyphen keygen is enough, or otherwise, if you want like a mention any bytes do you want or any mail identity if you want, then you can able to mention. So nothing else, just you can go to Google. Simply here you can mention how to generate SSH key for the Git. Everything just is simply they can tell how we can do this process. Here, the so many options they will give like an SSH hyphen keygen hyphen o something like that. But simple SSH hyphen keygen is enough. Or otherwise, just you can go to again. So many people they can give easily. For example, here I will open this one. Okay. This one here, SSH hyphen this one actually. This is something like different. Actually, usually this is a better, I think so, as compared to simply SSH hyphen keygen. This one. Okay, this one is better, I think so. SSH hyphen keygen hyphen T RSA type. Here again bytes like a 20484096 like that. And here hyphen C capital C, your mail ID. Whenever you are joined into the company, they have given you have a user credential, that user your mail ID. Then this key is representing you. So this is the better way to generate. Or otherwise, simply you can give a directly SSH hyphen key. That's also fine. SSH hyphen key. Then it will ask where I need to store this one. Generally, if you are not giving anything, simply enter. It will store directly in C/users Hanu Medikonda .ssh id _ rsc. So the key will be directly stored into the .ssh file. But if you mention something else, some file, then it will store in that. But usually, the most of the people directly given the username itself, directly enter. So enter the pass pair. Generally, if you want to authenticate some authentication time, just it asks the pass pair, but it's not required. Better to give an entry. Then again, same password, nothing. I enter. Now I will get the two keys. One is what? ID _ RSA, ID RSA .pub. So if you go to this path, copy, directly cd, paste. Then .ssh. Okay, here we will get the ID RSA pub. Previously, we don't have ID RSA and ID RSA pub. So now we'll get the ID RSA and ID RSA pub. So that's fine. Now, are you able to download? No, we'll try. So now I will try to download, clone, I will try to clone. No, again it won't. Why? Because just we have created the private key and public key. That's it. We won't create a, we are not authenticate. Just we have a keys, but that should be copy. Public key should be copied into the where we need to get the our code. Here we are copying, we need to get the code from the this repository. So this the whenever this from total account, actually not for the particular repo, it is total account. If you set here, that will total account. So then I will copy that content where we had .ssh cat id underscore rsa dot pub. Simply I will copy this one. For example, if you give your mail ID, it will give your mail ID here. But if you are not give, it will take like this in the system. So you can copy this one. Then we'll enter into the settings. Go to SSH and GPG keys. New key. We will copy here. Okay. Here. This title is our wish. You can able to give our own title. No issue. For identification purpose. I have added the key. So now already the key got added. Where it added? Here. GCP batch 2. Okay. Now I will try to download that one. I will go to Git. Now I will Git clone this repository. Now I will able to download. I will able to clone the remote repository. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Today class.